guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Smitha. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is my answer to one of the most commonly asked questions. How do you keep your under eye looking so smooth and stop the concealer from creasing? And my skin is dry, so I have to be extremely careful with the kind of products that I use and how I use it. So method is extremely important. If you have oily skin, it's much easier. If you have normal skin, even better. So if you're ready, let's get started. And if you're new here, please take a moment to subscribe. I post new videos every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. First of all, it's very common and very normal to have fine lines on the face, on the body, any place where you have folds, especially under the eyes. And if the fine lines are dry and they're deeper, the chances of products settling in the fine lines and creasing is more. So the first important step is to maintain the skin. Everything starts with skincare. If you start observing fine lines under your eyes, it's time to start using an under eye cream. The one that I use is this one from Juice Beauty. It's an anti-wrinkle cream. I warm up just a tad bit with my fingers and I dab it gently under my eyes and massage it every single night before bed. So that takes off much of the dryness and keeps my under eye looking really smooth. So that's what I do before bed, and I wash off in the morning. And the first thing that I do as soon as I wash my face is to apply a moisturizer, because when you use water, it dries your skin. And you want to keep your skin hydrated, for which you need a good moisturizer. And I especially look for collagen in moisturizers. I'm really liking this one from Physicians Formula. It's their new product. It's the 24 karat moisturizer. I pretty much slather the moisturizer on my face. I apply quite a bit and I let it soak in and settle down for about 20 to 30 minutes. Next, I use the pore and line filling primer, and I included this in my 2019 favorites. This is the Porefessional from Benefit Cosmetics. I specifically focus this in areas where I have those fine lines and pores, and I finish up by applying it all over my face and neck, basically in areas where I'll use the foundation. So what this primer does is, even before you apply the foundation, it goes and settles inside those fine lines, but it doesn't crease. So it'll settle in the fine lines and cover up the fine lines. So it'll make everything smooth before you apply anything else over it. So now when you apply the foundation and concealer, the chances of those getting into the fine lines and creasing is minimized. And now that the lines and pores are filled and my skin feels smooth, it's time to use a foundation. You can use any foundation that you personally prefer. I'm going to quickly apply this with a damp beauty sponge. And I'm going to avoid applying it under my eyes, because the more the product's under your eyes, the chances of it caking up or creasing is more. So you don't want to layer too much. So I'm going to leave that place empty for the concealer. I'm only going to smoothen the foundation around the eyes so it seamlessly blends with the concealer. Now it's time to use a concealer. Here you have to find the right product. If you use a concealer that's too runny, it's going to move around and it's going to settle in those fine lines and crease. If you use a concealer that's too thick, it can be extremely drying. It may not blend out properly and it can look cakey. And my favorite is the Milani concealer, and my shade is 145. I've recommended this to so many people and everybody has come back to me and told me that they love this concealer. Before I even apply the concealer, I get my sponge ready for the blending. This is the ColourPop sponge. You can use any beauty sponge that you have. I hold it under running water till it expands in size, and then I squeeze out all the water. Now there will be some water still left in the sponge, so I put it in a dry towel and I squeeze it even more, so I remove all the water. So the sponge becomes soft because it has some moisture, but it's not kind of too watery where, you know, if you use it on your face, it's not going to remove the makeup or clump up or anything like that. Now let's go ahead and use the concealer. When I apply the concealer, I mostly focus it in the very inner corner because that's where the dark circles are the deepest. and then I start applying it around my eyes, and I completely avoid areas where I have those fine lines, because you're using the concealer for the dark circles, not really for the fine lines. Now if you start blending this immediately, the sponge can absorb the product, so that will give you less coverage. So I'm going to let the concealer sit there for about 20 to 30 seconds till it's just a tad bit dry. That way the sponge will not absorb the product. And then I'm going to start blending. When I blend, I usually look up or straight because I want to flatten out all those folds under my eyes. If I look down, I'll have those folds, giving the concealer more chances to settle in them and crease. It blends out beautifully, gives you amazing coverage, doesn't crease, and it's a drugstore concealer. And I'm going to be doing the same in other areas of my face where I have fine lines. The most important step that I'll be showing you today is to set the concealer, otherwise it will crease. For this, I recommend using a very finely sifted powder. My favorite is Maybelline Master Fix. If you want to go natural, you can also use cornstarch. After I've removed all the creases and I've blended out the concealer, I'm going to dip the same sponge in the powder, and then I'm going to start dabbing it over the concealer. And again, I'm either looking up or straight while doing this. And I'm taking just enough powder for the concealer to absorb it, set and seal. If you apply too much powder, that's when it can get too drying and cakey. But when you apply just enough powder, it'll smoothen out your under eye and it looks flawless. As you can see, my under eyes is set. There's no creasing, no caking, no drying, and it looks really smooth. And I'm going to do the same in other areas of my face where I have those fine lines. And that's pretty much it, you guys. This is how I do it every single time. I hope you'll try it, and I hope it works out for you as well. I would love to learn from you how things are going. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you're new here, I post new videos every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. And if you want to learn more about me, you'll find that information in the description box below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon with a brand new video. Bye guys.